Shelley,
to be my wife.
And I promise, before God and these witnesses, to be your loving and faithful husband, in plenty and in want, in joy and in sorrow, in sickness and in health, as long as we both shall live. I, Shelley, take you, Ryan, to be my husband. And I promise, before God and these witnesses, to be your loving and faithful wife, in plenty and in want, in joy and in sorrow, in sickness and in health, as long as we both shall live.
You may kiss each other.
Give it up for the new Mr. and Mrs. Ryan and Shelley Patsy!
Back in September, I was asked if I would give a few words. I am accused of putting these two together. It's my fault. You're wondering why I've called you all here. And I'm not sure that I did, but I asked Ryan about it. And Ryan says, oh, yeah, you definitely did. And he said it was just like Fiddler on the Roof. He's Tevye, she's Goldie, and I was your Yenta, and he sang the song and had the costume. And a lot of people don't know this about Ryan. He's a man for all seasons. It's not just monster trucks and flying motorcycles. He loves the theater, and so he believes I'm their Yenta. Is that right, Yenta? Yenta, matchmaker? Yeah, Yenta. So I don't think that's right. It doesn't sound true to me. So I asked Shelley. Just stick with me here. I asked Shelley if did I in fact put them together, and she looked at me and she said, Hardner, you're the only one that knew me and Patsy before we became us. Now she says that's true. Now I don't know about you. People that know Shelley, I find it intimidating. She says, Hardner, were you a drill sergeant in another life, or a football coach? Or my mother gave me a first name. She just calls me Hardner. I'm pretty convinced Ryan is in your phone is just Patsy. We'll check that later. So she says I'm the only one who knew her and knew Ryan before they became them. So that sounds a little better. But I sat down to figure out what really happened. So when I sat down to collect my thoughts for this speech, the first thought that came to my mind was, holy heck, this wedding's in 90 minutes. What am I going to say? So the second thought I had was, I did remember where I think you two met. And I think it was in Northeast Pennsylvania. I think it was Northeast, and anybody that knows me is going to be shocked to find out that I was unprepared for something and forgot something. Shelley plays in a band that I play in. I'm her drummer. She's my bass player in the Gem City Jazz Ensemble. We had a gig in Northeast, and I forgot cymbals. Is this right? I showed up for the gig without, I think it was cymbals. It might have been drumsticks and music as well. It could have been a whole damn drum set. I don't know. But I didn't have them. But I do have a good friend in Ryan Patsy, and I called him in a pinch. I called him in a panic, and he ran and got what I needed, and he brought it out to Northeast and saved the day. And thank you for that. And a couple days later, I heard from Shelley, Hardner, what about Patsy? And I turned around and looked at her, and she had those big cartoon hearts for eyes, you know, like in the Pepe Le Pew cartoon. And she was, you know, I could hear her saying, a man. And I said, nah, that's not going to work. He's not for you. he's a millennial, you're a Gen X. It's just not, I said, trust me, I know about these things, Shelley. It is not going to work. So I left it at that. She's my bass player. I'm not going to do anything to screw up that relationship. I'm not going to let Ryan Patsy get in between that. So, but I'm not one to force nature. It's not like I tried to keep them apart. I didn't, separate them or anything like that. And I do believe that nature finds a way. There's a wonderful romantic movie. I know you guys have seen it. It's probably the most romantic movie ever made. And over the course of this uncertainty in the world, in this movie, and the chaos and all the crazy stuff that goes on, nature and love finds a way. Of course, that movie is Jurassic Park. Yes. So, somebody turns off the electric gate to a dinosaur paddock. Somebody forgets their symbols. Things happen. And nature, in this case, love, a government mule concert comes to town. Love finds a way. So I am honored if I had anything to do with it. If any of this was because of my friendship with either one of you, I love you both. Congratulations.
Love you too.
So I'm going to do a little gushing first because I absolutely have to do that. I know you hate it, but I'm going to start by telling you all what you probably already know, that Shelley is an amazing person inside and out. She is one of those unicorns that you can call a true friend. No matter what you get yourself into, and for me, there's been a lot, she's the first one there with a shovel to dig you out, tell it to you straight, have you look at both sides of things, comfort you, listen to you, and I mean really listen to you, and ultimately love and accept you for exactly who you are. She's gonna be the one who is there for you in the middle of the night when you call, and I know that from experience. Couple words to describe Shelley: loyal, honest, silly, overly organized, adventurous, and fun, and it's all wrapped up into a perfect friendship package. I can't begin to tell you how happy I am that she has found somebody in her life that can make her feel as special as she makes everybody else feel. I'm done. No more gushing. Instead, I'm going to talk a little bit about travel, because Shelley loves to travel, and that's actually what brought us together. She is my travel buddy. We have been everywhere together, and anytime I have a trip coming up, I know exactly who to ask to go with me. So it all started with a presentation that I was giving for work in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And I was really nervous about going. I didn't want to go by myself. And we were at a Sea Grant dinner, and I was talking about it. And I was saying, I don't know what to do about this. And she goes, I'll go. And I'm like, really? And I knew her, but we weren't as close at that point. And she's like, yeah, I'll go. I'm like, all right. And honestly, the rest is history from there. We flew to Argentina. When we got there, we were starving, we were tired. It was about 5 or 6 o'clock. And in Argentina, they don't eat dinner till after 9 o'clock. So there was literally nothing open. So there was nothing for us to do but go back to our hotel room, take our 2 twin beds, shove them together, get on our phones, send each other Snapchats of pizza, and giggle until we fell asleep. And that's exactly what we did. And I'm not going to forget to tell the story of when we were at the airport and she was really hungry for snacks, and there was a rogue green M&M on the floor, and she actually picked it up and ate it. She loves her snacks. On that trip, we got lost together. We walked like 3 miles, the only blondes for miles around. We made it through. It was a little shady. We ate empanadas. We drank uncountable glasses of Malbec. We Tindered. Sorry, Ryan. Just for fun. We didn't meet up with anybody. And we created, I know, right? And we created our daily travel diaries so that we would remember every silly moment. Every trip with you has been a trip that I could never forget. Shelley was also part of one of the biggest and greatest milestones of my life. She traveled to China with Sean and I to adopt our son, Beckham. She carried bags, she went on diaper runs, she went on McDonald's runs, and she was there for moral support when Sean and I were completely thrown into parenthood, and there's not enough thank yous in the world for that. So I'm gonna take a little credit for them too, because while she was in China, that's when Patsy filled in playing bass for her at a musical performance that she was missing. I'm just joking. I'm positive that no matter what, you would have found a way to Shelley. All right, I'm gonna just get to the toast part. So Ryan, now it's time for your adventure with Shelley, a lifelong adventure of love and companionship. I hope you both find yourselves getting lost in beautiful places together, sharing memories, and creating your own adventure diaries every single day. Cheers to you both to a long and happy life together, full of love, travel, and snacks. Cheers.
I've known Ryan for 23 years, 24. So initially, when I was planning to give this speech, I had this idea that I would go through events in our life and kind of tell the story of how I've seen you develop into someone who I think would make a great partner for anyone. And now that I've been married for a few years, I know would make a great husband for Shelley. And I had anecdotes, and this shows how selfless he is, and this shows, how willing he is to do what needs to be done for a friend, and how great of an attitude you have in so many situations. And I did it to my wife. I told her the entire speech and said, is there anything I could add to make this better? And she said, yeah, you should probably cut it to about 4 minutes. And then, so I said, okay, I'll take that under advisement. And we got closer and closer to today. And then I got Shelley's itinerary and saw that I really only had 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Yeah. And then Hardner went way over, and I feel like I'm down to like a minute and a half. So all I'm gonna say, in conclusion, because can tell I'm running out of time, Ryan, you have been a tremendous friend. We've had many great adventures. I insist that we have many more great adventures. I'm here for you. Shelley, you scored. This was, I don't know if you know. I want you to know. You did a great job. The punchline is, it was before, it's coming later, but you gotta get the timing. You guys are a fantastic couple. I know you're gonna be very happy for very many years. So if everyone one more time could raise your glasses to Ryan and Shelley, many years of happiness. Cheers.